A new development is popping up in the Hill Country, but this one is a little different than the usual construction that we see here in Central Texas, which is a lot. It's focused on conservation.
And it's also home to a waterway that experts say helps provide drinking water to Austin. KXAN's Eric Henriksen has an in-depth look at this development.
The air grew noticeably colder as Lou Adams led us deeper into Roy Creek Canyon in early January.
This canyon's about 200 feet deep.
Its limestone walls jutting up around us.
This is just a sample of the limestone cliffs that surround the entire canyon.
Lou pointed to a section of the wall.
It has the consistency of Swiss cheese.
This karst, as it's called, is one of the reasons Lou is concerned about the construction of Mirasol Springs, a new 1,400-acre development on the property surrounding Roy Creek Canyon.
Groundwater hits the top, it ends up filtering down, and we're concerned about it, ending up in the creek. Any development that was within the watershed of Roy Creek eventually goes into the Pedernales and eventually into Lake Travis.
This is something the developers of Mirasol Springs know. For the past 18 months, they've met with scientists in order to better plan for what they're calling an environmentally conscious development.
Travis County commissioned a study, a groundwater study, so it's really kind of fortuitous.
Brian Hunt, a hydrologist with the Bureau of Economic Geology at UT, says he has met with Lou Adams and the Mirasol Springs team.
I've talked to both, and I've given sort of both of them kind of a preliminary assessment.
His focus, the pathway water takes on the property.
The pathway of groundwater flow is complicated. It can go in and right back out, or it can go a little bit deeper, and all of it eventually is headed towards the low points. So that's along Roy Creek.
Meaning any construction runoff, septic systems, or wastewater could eventually find its way downstream. And Hunt says the springs that feed Roy Creek would be under threat if wells were built.
If they pump groundwater in the layers that are feeding those springs, clearly there's going to be an impact. So I communicated that.
Based on this and others' research presented to the team, Jim Truitt, president of Mirasol Capital, told KXAN that septic systems and private wells won't be built on the property. Rainfall will be harvested, reducing runoff. Herbicides and pesticides will be banned, and curbs, gutters, and storm drains will not flow into the creeks. Despite these plans, Hunt says that any development near Roy Creek will likely have an impact. While Mirasol Springs is taking action to protect the land and the water in the short term, what about the long term? Next time we're taking a look at some conservation actions that could last forever. In Western Travis County, Eric Henriksen, KXAN News.